Hi everyone, right, following on from yesterday's video talking about tea and coffee, today I'm going to be talking about what we commonly add to tea and coffee. It's not sugar, it's not sweetener, it's milk. Now, lots of people will complain that they have problems digesting milk and milk products, or at least some people do. There's a reason for this. We're all born with the ability to digest lactose, which is the sugar in milk, and that's why we can drink breast milk. But about the age of 5, this gene gets switched off, and that's why you often find older children, adults, having trouble digesting lactose and therefore digesting dairy products. However, historically, in times of famine, where people didn't want to kill off all their cattle because that was their only way that was their livelihood and the way they could get around, they would have to consume the milk from their cows and goats, or whatever else, whatever other herds they might have. And the people who had problems digesting this would die off, of course, because they had no other form of nutrition. So the people who were left, who could digest this lactose, they survived, and they've passed on these genetic abilities to carry on digesting lactose beyond the age of 5. So actually, the majority of people in the West are able to digest lactose without a problem. We do have the genes to do it. I personally know I have the gene to digest lactose. On the other hand, other parts of the world where they perhaps didn't get involved in this, in the issue of having to consume milk products due to famine for whatever reasons, that's common in the Far East and also certain parts of Africa. Because they didn't go through this process, many people, in fact the majority of people in those parts of the world, cannot digest lactose. And that's why you often find people in Eastern cultures, they don't consume dairy. They tend to consume things like soy milk instead. They hardly have any dairy in their diet because they just can't handle it. But that's not the only thing that is in milk that can cause a problem. That's lactose is the sugar. The protein in dairy is called casein. Some people have a problem digesting casein. It's hard to tell whether it's lactose or casein that is the problem, but casein can be a problem for some people. The interesting thing about casein is it's cross-reactive with gluten. That means to your body, gluten and casein look very similar. So if your body's reacting to one, there's quite a high chance you'll also react to the other, and that's why you find people who have a problem with gluten often have a problem with dairy, not because it's the lactose, but because it's the casein in it that's very similar to gluten. So that's casein and lactose covered there. Right, what can you do about it? How do you know if you are really having a problem? Well, there are numerous food intolerance tests out there of really variable accuracy. But one thing you can do, and it does tend to be the gold standard first step method if you don't want to go down the route of spending money on tests, is you very simply, you eliminate it for 30 days. So for 30 days, you don't have any dairy products at all. No ice cream, no cream, of course no milk, but also no yoghurt, despite the fact some people think it's okay with because you've got the added bacteria in live yoghurt. That can help, but it doesn't always help. So you eliminate all dairy for 30 days, and then you have some, in a period of about 3 days, you have enough to provoke a reaction. So maybe you have like 2 or 3 portions of dairy over those 3 days, but you don't introduce anything else that you may have eliminated, else you won't know which it is you're reacting to. And you see how you feel. If you've eliminated it for 30 days and then you reintroduce it and you have a reaction, you know you've got a problem with that food. And that's the majority of the time the best way to determine whether you've got a problem with any food at all. So I hope that's helpful. If you do think you've got problems with milk or gluten, these days luckily there are so many different options available to you, and if you need any help deciding which is the best route to go down, which are the best alternative products, then please do send me a message, comment under this post, whatever. But good luck, and don't worry, you don't have to skip out on all the things you love just yet. If you do have a problem, there's loads of other things that are just as tasty and nutritious. Thanks and bye.